Oh yes, yes, Prince Harry, the charming man who has nothing but sensible takes on absolutely everything. And to be completely fair though, he has somewhat been taken out of context here, but because he didn't specifically sort of say the thing that everyone's saying he's saying, but you can definitely get those undertones behind it. Prince Harry faces backlash in the US after calling the First Amendment bonkers. US voices such as Candace Owens, Ted Cruz and Jack Posobiec were among those criticising Prince Harry's comments. Prince Harry is facing backlash from US First Amendment campaigners, the First Amendment being the right to freedom of speech, a beautiful and wonderful and magical thing. I would love it if we had that here and we weren't getting arrested for offending people. I find the fact that we don't have freedom of speech offensive. I find violating human rights offensive. The government should arrest itself. The Duke was speaking to actor Dax Shepard and producer Monica Padman on the Armchair Expert podcast. He seemed to criticise the amendment. See how it says he seemed to criticise the amendment. The right to free speech, saying, "I've got so much I want to say about the First Amendment as I sort of understand it, but it is bonkers. I don't want to start going down the First Amendment route because that's a huge subject and one which I don't understand because I've only been here a short time. But you can find a loophole in anything." What are you talking about loophole? A loophole to what? Human rights? Like, if people want to use their right to freedom of speech to be racist, that is their right to do that. That's the point of freedom of speech. And a lot of people are going to use their rights to do things that you don't like, to say things that you don't like. For example, OnlyFans. I'm not really, I don't really, I'm not a fan of women that do that, but it is 100% their right to do that. And just because I don't like it doesn't mean that women should be prevented from doing that. I mean, it's your titties, they're not my titties. You take pictures of them if you want. If you want to sell them, then whatever, that's absolutely fine. Not the biggest fan of it, did some thought patrolling back in my day, but it's your tits, take pictures of them if you want. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean, oh, right, because of this thing I don't like, that's it, banned, get rid of it, stop it. Like, no, that's not how rights work. Right, but I'm just enjoying the fact that he's sitting there like there's a loophole. A loophole to what? A loophole to what? Harry. And it's just one of the things that I find funny. Like, you can capitalise or exploit what's not said rather than uphold what is said. I think, is he talking about the whole, like, fucking red ropes and corkboard thing where it's like that, where it's like, yeah, they use esoteric meme warfare to get their fascist opinions across. Like, that's what it seems like that is there. But I mean, big talk for someone whose ancestors used to literally execute people for speaking out against them. Your ancestors, your royal family, you're a descendant, allegedly, right? Allegedly, you are a descendant of the royal family. Your ancestors used to literally execute people for speaking out against them. You want to talk out against the crown? That's fine. Just, if you could just stand on the board right there, sir, and I'm just going to place this around your neck. It's like, that's what the royal family used to do. They used to bloody execute people that spoke out against them. And now he's over in America, and they don't even want him. They're sick of him. He's only been there a short time and they're already sick of him. And he's sitting there on his podcast like, I've been in this country a short time and can you believe that they just let the plebs say stuff? I'm sorry that you find human rights bonkers. Yes. You mean you let people do things? It's like, shut the fuck up. The First Amendment covers a number of basic freedoms in the US, including freedom of religion, speech, the press, a right to assemble, and a right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Mwah! Oh, music to my ears. I've got half a chub right now. This video is demonetized. This video is demonetized because I'm doing it with a semi. This wee gem. This wee gem right here. Buttercoon. Ted Cruz, a senator for Texas and also the Zodiac Killer, and ally of the Trump wing of the Republican Party, criticised the comment, simply tweeting, "Nice that he can say that." That's good, that's funny. Meanwhile, Jack Posobiec, widely regarded as a hard-right activist and internet personality, said Prince Harry is attacking America's First Amendment, tells you everything that you need to know. Yeah, Harry has, I mean, everybody that's followed it, he's turned into a complete woke scold. He is, he's a complete woke scold, and he's no idea what he's talking about. He's got like this podcast now, and people send clips of it out all the time where he never has any idea on any of the things that he's talking about. He just doesn't have a clue. He's just absolutely clueless. But I mean, that's it. See, when he was raised a prince. That's what happens when you're raised a prince. Like, you just have absolutely zero understanding of how the world actually bloody works. You know, there's a downside to being a rich kid. You know, yeah, you grow up and you have literally every single door and window of opportunity open right in front of you. In fact, you're not just climbing through them, you've got servants to set up a nice little ladder and dust it off before you climb up it, right? That's one of the perks of being rich, but one of the downsides of it, of being raised a rich kid, is you have zero clue how the real world works. You have no clue whatsoever how the real world works, and that's obviously the case with Harry. Candace Owens, an activist and founder of a number of right-wing organisations, added, "Sunday riddle, how many more Hollywood-style interviews will Prince Harry and Meghan Markle give before they finally achieve the privacy they claim to be so desperate for?" Nigel Farage, who has been touring the US as part of America's Comeback Tour. America's Comeback Tour. Man, it's going to cost him like $900 a day just to refuel the bus. America's Comeback. Also added his thoughts, tweeting, "For Prince Harry to condemn the USA's First Amendment shows that he has lost the plot. Soon he will not be wanted on either side of the pond." He's already not wanted in America. They don't even want him. Elsewhere on the podcast, Harry, who is father to 2-year-old Archie and is due to welcome a baby girl with wife Meghan, also said he wants to break the cycle of the pain and suffering of his royal upbringing as he raises his own children. The pain and suffering of his royal upbringing. Yeah. Being raised as a prince sucks. It's like a Disney movie. Is he gonna like walk towards the window and go like, "I don't want to do dress rehearsals," and then he breaks into fucking song. Birds are landing on his windowsill and singing along with him. Shut up. You've literally never known struggle in your life. The only thing that I have true sympathy with Harry for is when the royal family had his mother killed. Sorry, I mean, when his mother died in that tragic car accident. That's what I meant to say there. The Duke also likened being in the royal family to a mixture between The Truman Show and being in a zoo. Right, so basically, obviously, like, when his mother died and everything like that, like, obviously, great suffering. That's not suffering, and I do have complete pity for Harry in that regard. That's a terrible thing to go through at such an age. But, you know, through the power of free speech, you can find out who's responsible for it. I'm just saying. But, yes, one thing that is obviously goes without saying, the First Amendment is a absolutely crucial and beautiful piece of legislation. It is a wonderful piece of legislation, and it should be protected and guarded closely at all costs. I've said this many times. Americans, print out your constitution, get a nice little copy of it, keep it framed next to your bed, and kiss it before you go to sleep every night, because it is a beautiful, magical, and wonderful thing. You've no idea how lucky you are. We don't have anything like that here. I mean, in Scotland, you can go to jail for 7 years just for possessing an offensive meme. You don't even have to send it to anyone or anything like that. Just possessing the offensive meme can get you sent to prison for 7 years. That's why, yeah, remember who's about Scotland, Braveheart, freedom. No, but it's not like that here. See the romanticised view that Americans have of Scotland, it's nothing like that here. Because even that completely draconian, horrific law that violates human rights, a lot of Scots were supporting it. A lot of Scots were advocating for their... A lot of Scots literally advocate for their freedoms and rights to be taken away. It's a shame that the romanticised view that Americans have of Scotland isn't true, but it would be really nice if it was. But unfortunately, people are willing to sacrifice all of their human rights just for independence. I mean, we'll be an independent country. We're definitely not going to be a free country. Yeah, this is just a rich idiot who's just talking absolute crap. Why do people listen to him? I honestly have no idea. I do not care about anything that rich people have to say unless it's funny. Unless it's funny. Elon Musk comes out with the odd good meme, you know. He comes out with the odd funny statement. Like his meme review video with PewDiePie, that was hilarious. So stuff like that, that's hilarious. That's funny. I'll enjoy that stuff. But Elon Musk is also a complete shithead for ruining the crypto market right now. Because of his stupidity. Yeah, I bought $1 billion in Bitcoin, but I don't know how it actually works. And then I found out that it uses electricity. So just give me a second till I destroy the market for a few weeks. Yeah. Thanks, Elon. Thanks, man. Top guy. But yeah, anyway, yes, freedom of speech is absolutely important and it is crucial. And the thing that happens with rights is people will sometimes use their rights to do things that you don't like. So, for example, racism and all of those other things, right? Now, that is what comes with rights. People will use their rights to do things that you don't like. Now, if you want to criticize the people that are doing those things, or you want to use your own freedom of speech to convince the other person that what they're doing is bad, and you want to use reason and logic and arguments and have a nice calm conversation, and through the power of free speech, through the power of discussion and dialogue, you just might make that person go, yeah, I was being a dick there. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'll change my ways. Smashing. Fantastic. Excellent. That's what we want to see through the power of speech. Because see, when you kind of force a person to not be able to say the things that are on their mind through the threat of violence or, you know, government criminal prosecution, that doesn't change their mind. In fact, it throws them deeper down the rabbit hole. The funny thing is the government actually knows this. The government actually knows that when you arrest racists and put them in jail, they come out of jail 100 times more racist. And the government actually knows that. That's something that's well known with the government. And yet they still bring these laws in. It's almost like the reason for these laws isn't to prevent racism. I wonder what the real reason could be. Boggles the mind. But anyway, yes, food for thought. Shut up, Harry.